Hello, this is Sebastian from socialanxietysolutions.com. I am a former social anxiety disorder sufferer and a social confidence coach, and I help people to go from social anxiety to social ease. They can have a good time socially and just be natural, right? Have a good time. Socializing is supposed to be effortless. That's actually your normal state of being, and I managed to get back to that myself, and I help clients do the same. Now, I've been putting out videos for 8 years or something, and I have a confession to make. Ooh, exciting! What is it? Well, I got anxious last week. In fact, it happens every now and then that I get a bit anxious, and that's like when something new happens that I haven't yet encountered. It then can happen that I feel a bit anxious. So, for example, I started podcasting 2 years ago. I had never done that. There were a lot of unknowns, so during my first podcast, I actually felt quite a bit anxious. Was it a problem? Not really, because I tapped before, I tapped during, and I was in acceptance of it. Ooh. There's the big word. I was in acceptance of the anxiety. So in other words, the anxiety symptoms that came up for me, they didn't make me feel ashamed of myself. They didn't throw me off. Of course, they threw me off a bit. It's not pleasant. I can't. I didn't remain completely cool, calm, and collected because my system is thinking that I'm in danger. So it does throw me off a bit. But I mean, like, I'm not extra judging myself on top of it, or I'm not feeling extra bad on top of it, and therefore the anxiety could come up, it could fizzle out, and then it wasn't a problem anymore. Now, other situations that I can recall right now, I don't know, nothing that stands out at least, but last week or 2 weeks ago, I did get a bit anxious, and because I have footage of it, I thought it would be a good idea to do a video off of it. So here's what happened. I'm into salsa these days. I started dancing, 4 months ago, and I fucking love it. So I'm dancing all the time. So I was out with my dancing buddies, and my dance teachers, they were doing a performance on stage, and after their performance, or rather in between their performances, there was a drag queen that came out to do a Moulin Rouge or whatever it was that he or she was doing, and I was standing pretty near to the front of the stage. So in the middle of her act, she's pointing at me for me to come to the stage. I'm like, oh shit, we don't want this, but what are you gonna say? I'm not gonna say no and hide in the crowd. So I went on stage, and this is what happened. Don't you worry about it. Okay, now you might not be able to spot that I was a bit anxious. In fact, that's what happens for most people. If you're just a bit anxious, most people don't really notice it, even though you think that they do. But anyway, that's a different story. But what I want to say with this video, with this little example here, is because I had done my inner work, because when the anxiety came up for me, it wasn't like, oh, my heart is racing. Oh no, there's a lump in my throat. What if they're gonna see me anxious? What if they're judging me to be weak right now? Oh, I'm such a loser for being anxious. I shouldn't get anxious. If that was been, my inner voice, and I would have become ashamed, like in the beginning, like when I was really anxious, I would blush when I would feel anxious because I was so ashamed of it. Like, all of that didn't happen. So instead, I just had a bit of anxiety. And because I just had a bit of anxiety, I could still kind of keep my cool. I wasn't totally in the flow on stage by any sense of the imagination, but I could still kind of keep myself together. And sort of enjoy the experience, and that was the end of it. So acceptance of your social anxiety, essentially important. Acceptance of yourself while you're dealing with social anxiety, essentially important. Acceptance of the circumstances that are in your life that are difficult because of the social anxiety, essentially important. Long story short, acceptance, very important. In fact, it's the first step of overcoming your social anxiety. And it's a lot easier said than done. I run an online social confidence community. You can't sign up for it right now, but we opened that up 2 months ago, and for a whole month, our main focus has been on getting to that place of acceptance, because that place of acceptance, that alone will significantly reduce your anxiety, how long it stays around, the intensity of it, how you feel about yourself will improve, just your overall mental health and well-being will improve by getting to that place of acceptance. And this acceptance is a precondition for change. It's essential, because what you resist persists, and what you accept, you come to terms with. Like, you accept the status quo, and from that place, that's the place from which you can start to make lasting changes. All right? And so from that place of acceptance, then you can start to look at, all right, well, why is it that I felt anxious in that particular situation? What was the threat there? And so, I'm pretty sure I tapped a bit after I went on stage, and I don't know. I don't really recall what it was that was a threat for me, but maybe I didn't want to humiliate myself on stage in front of all these people. I don't know what it was, but anyway, I'm expecting that after the tapping I've done, next time that a similar situation happens, I won't get anxious, because my brain won't detect a threat there. And if my brain does, fine, no problem. That's fine, because then I'm not in judgment of myself for the anxiety that comes up. I can still operate, I can still function. I don't have to hide in my house because maybe one day I'll feel anxious symptoms, right? And so I'm free regardless. And if I do get triggered, great, that's a healing opportunity, because I'm going to do some tapping afterwards to uncover what the threat was, get rid of it, so I can be natural and at ease in that situation as well. All right, so hope it's been helpful for you. I release videos like this every week, and I have been doing that for a long time. You can find these videos obviously on my channel, but you can subscribe for it here or wherever that button is. Every Thursday I release a video like this. Now, that's nice, watching these videos, but in these videos I just put out a little tiny bit of content, just a quick thing. And people like it, it's helpful, but I'd say it's a tiny bite of what I offer. I've been studying solutions to social anxiety from the moment I realized I had a problem, which is about age 16 or 17, and I'm 33 now, so do the math. And I've been coaching people for 9 years, working solely with socially anxious clients, helping them to go from social anxiety to social confidence, combining Western traditional psychology with Eastern energy psychology. And on my podcast, I interview psychologists, healers, coaches, researchers, best-selling authors, scientists, psychotherapists for their best social anxiety secrets. And you will get the podcast by going to iTunes, or when you sign up for my newsletter, because I'll talk about it, of course, in my newsletter. But what you also get when you go to my website is you get a social confidence starter kit, where I introduce you to the technique that I used to overcome my social anxiety. I share an ebook with you, a small ebook, where I talk about how I overcame my own social anxiety and how you can do the same, what the 4 steps are to getting to that place. And I share 10 videos of that technique, and I also guide you through an experience of it. In other words, that's where you want to be. Okay, that's gonna rock your world. That's gonna already start to give you some more emotional control, and it can already start to reduce your social anxiety just with that information alone. All right, so pretty amazing. That's of course free, and you can get that at socialanxietysolutions.com. I don't know the /, but go to socialanxietysolutions.com, click on the Overcome Social Anxiety tab at the top of the site, and you'll get there. Or just click below this video. All right, hope it's been helpful, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.